This chapter was mainly about the efforts put in by many different school districts to find out where the obesity is starting and how to take charge of it. They first looked at the schools in San Antonio, where there was seen to be a lot of childhood obesity. They looked at the food that they were serving in the cafeterias and the curriculum for education on nutrition and exercise. They found that the food was high in fats and sugars, and there was a lack of fresh fruit and produce. In addition, there was little to no education on nutrition and exercise. After observing this, it was concluded that it wasn't the genes that were causing the obesity, it was the class issue that affected schools at a poverty level. With this, more resources were directed towards a program changing the school environment. The most important changes that needed to be made were that involving food and exercise. Other studies were done to correlate obesity with time spent watching TV, playing video games, and playing on the computer. There was a trend linking reduced TV time with reduced BMI in obese children. The main theme of the chapter focused on ways to reduce sedentary behaviors and how to educate students on healthy eating. A lot of emphasis was placed on parents' role in changing the environment for their children. This starts with knowing good nutrition and falls into reducing the amount of high-calorie foods in the house and reducing the amount of meals out of the house. Overall, it is within the individual to stay consistent in being healthy and not letting themselves get to the point of obesity. It is about willpower and determination. There are 5 facts that are important to take away from this chapter. The first is, a study showed that there would be up to 3,000 type 2 diabetic children in 50 elementary schools in San Antonio, Texas. This is a large number of young children being diagnosed with a condition that typically affects adults over 40. This means that at a young age, they are living an unhealthy lifestyle, enough to where their body can't handle it. This is where I think it is the parents' responsibility to give them the knowledge of nutrition and show them a healthy lifestyle from the beginning. The second is, children who were punished for sedentary activities or positively rewarded for decreased TV, games, or computer time showed more weight loss than those that were reinforced for physical activity. I think that this is important to have rewards and punishment together. The punishment gives a sort of fear factor where the child doesn't want to get in trouble, and the reward gives them something to work for and look forward to. Number 3. California requires that the public schools provide 100 minutes of physical education every 2 weeks for elementary school and 400 minutes for middle school and high school. This is something that I think every school should implement, but they should make sure that they follow through with it. A lot of these schools in California were not meeting their quotas due to the time it takes for kids to get dressed and switch periods, leaving only a short amount of time for the actual class. Number 4. In West Virginia, there was a radio and TV campaign to encourage people to drink low-fat milk, and after 7 weeks, the market for 1% in fat-free milk went from 18 to 41%. This is something that needs to be used more often because so many people watch TV or listen to the radio in the car. It is such a great outlet to force people to listen and hear things they may not have known about the foods they eat. And number 5. On Sacramento school campuses, Pepsi promised to pay $2.5 million over a 5-year span to sell their product. I think that is crazy how companies like Pepsi and Coke take advantage of schools like that can really use the money for things like athletic uniforms and after-school activities. It is putting their students at a disadvantage with the temptation of bad nutrition like soda so readily available. Long-term consequences to America's health are an increased rate of obesity and other health problems associated with high BMI. This could easily not be an issue if children were taught proper nutrition at a young age and never fall into bad habits. Sedentary lifestyles focus more on electronics than outdoor activities can only make this problem worse. If there aren't changes in the school environment to get children on the right track, this is a problem that will only continue to grow and become more widespread. Mentioned in this chapter was the increased prevalence of type 2 diabetes in younger children. This is just one of the many health problems that will affect overweight children through their life. Other diseases that may affect them later as a result of their current weight are diseases like heart disease and stroke that are all very serious to their health. It is important for them to take charge of their lives when they are still young and able. It all begins with just simply taking one step in the direction of healthy living that can change their future. The last page of the chapter brings home the power of commitment to a strict diet and a daily exercise routine. This was the take-home message of the chapter to emphasize the power of each in losing weight and being healthy.